don't need to have tons of content.
Can I touch your face?
Sure.
Evan, I can't believe I'm here. I feel like I got sucked into a YouTube video.
You are. You're in a YouTube video. This is great.
You are the youngest legend that I know. Can I touch your face?
Sure. Go for it.
He's real. He's real.
Nobody's asked me that. So this is great. I love it.
Yes. I just went through your 3-day leadership academy.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, did you ever have anybody? We learned a lot.
Yeah.
It was stretching our boundaries. It had a lot of good technical information.
Yeah.
Did you ever have somebody at the end of 3 days saying to you, you know what, Evan?
Yeah.
I'm going to move to Colorado, buy some goats,
Okay.
and make cheese?
No, but I like it. I broke my neck in Colorado, so Colorado is special for me. I think every time we do it, we push people a little bit further, and some people react differently than others to it, and I think it's good. Like I think the push is good. It's pushing people to the edge a lot and beyond. Like a lot of people, even just sitting here, is super nerve-wracking. They've never done it ever before in their life, and so everybody has grown from it. Like whether they get it in the moment and they're ready to go and take off and start their YouTube career, I've never had anybody not be proud of themselves coming out of it, even just for their effort of getting in front of the camera and making content and trying. I've not to my knowledge ever had anybody go and say I'm going to go to Colorado and make goats and like make cheese, but it's hard, especially if you're not used to it. It's hard, it's taxing, it's draining. It's an emotional roller coaster a lot of times. It's testing new muscles that you didn't even know existed.
Can you take it too early or too late? Is there such a thing?
I don't know that too late is a thing. I think some of the information could be too early, depending on goals and what you're trying to do. But even that, I think, like for example, even this, we're sitting here, we've got 3 huge cameras on us, lights, microphone, might be a bigger setup than most people are used to. We make a video, maybe it gets used somewhere, maybe you use it, maybe it's helpful for you, maybe it's too early for your brand to really use it for anything that has an impact for you. Or maybe it's not even related to what you're trying to build. Even the experience of being here, having gone through it, being in front of 3 cameras, the lights and all that, is a good thing to go through because it's different outside the norm from what you're usually used to, right?
I agree.
So some of the exercises might have been strange or different or challenging, but I think that's where growth actually comes from. Right?
I agree.
Some of them might have been easy for you. It's like, okay, I didn't learn as much there, but we're throwing a bunch of different things at you. And everybody has grown from it. And listen, we were talking about a guy who was here a year ago, and we did this, and I fought with him for an hour and a half. Like this 20-minute conversation turned into an hour and a half, and I couldn't let him go, and we were fighting. And we finally got to a point at the end of the video where it was like, I couldn't let him go. Like people were waiting outside.
Was it physical?
No, but like it almost, and I wouldn't get that far, but it was like I couldn't let him go because he had to get this thing, and he was like emotionally drained by the end of it, and I was too. Everybody were waiting on dinner, but every couple of months he messages me and says, "Thank you so much for that push." It was like I didn't get it at the time, but it was exactly what I needed, right? So,
tell me about your love affair with salsa.
I wanted to dance when I was in university. I had a girlfriend at the time who we took ballroom class together. I never learned to dance growing up. I'm half Italian. We have Italian dances and stuff, but I never really, it wasn't part of my culture here. Canadians, we don't learn to dance. I don't know if it's the same in Germany, but
we had some dances in college, organized by student associations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there are also some ballroom schools here and there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's prevalent or it's there.
In some cultures, it's just everybody learns to kind of dance the local dance. In Canada, we don't really dance growing up. So I wanted to learn how to dance. I took ballroom class in university with my girlfriend, and she didn't like it. So we took a couple classes, and then we dropped out. And I really liked it. Like I was having so much fun. I loved it, and she's nah. Okay. It's also a couples kind of dance, so you have to. I'm not going to go without her. And so we stopped. And then when we broke up, that wasn't the reason we broke up, but I thought, oh, I can go dancing again.
Yeah.
And I picked up salsa, and I didn't really know much about it, just found the school and just picked it up at this school. And the beautiful thing about salsa is it's instant community, instant connection. You know, you've done a couple classes here now,
Yes.
a little bit. And even though you're not going to walk home and say, I'm a salsa dancer now, it's just a fun thing to do, and it brings people together. And so at the time, too, you know, I broke up with my girlfriend. I didn't have, you know, I'm feeling lonely. And so now I have friends, instant friends that I met, and we're learning something together. Salsa is also great in that you're always switching partners. So what you did here was individual work, but when you're dancing, you're with a partner, and every couple minutes you're switching. So you get to know
A lot of people.
You get to know a lot of people, especially the opposite sex, because you're dancing.
Mostly
with all
women, yes.
Yeah, you get to know all the women in the class, but maybe not all the guys. But as a young single guy, like, that's great.
Perfect.
And then I just really liked it. I really enjoyed it. On paper, it didn't make sense. I didn't dance growing up. I'm over 6 feet. I take big steps. I don't speak Spanish. I didn't understand the music. It doesn't sound like a smart thing to do, but I just loved it. And I kept practicing, and I got better, and I met my wife through it.
Awesome.
And now I own this dance studio.
Now, I love your book, your one word.
Yeah.
I read through it.
Okay.
I found my one word.
Okay.
It is freedom.
Nice.
And I materialized that freedom through adapting.
Yep.
And I'm trying to build a brand around it. Now, my experience is in project management, so I can show entrepreneurs how to achieve freedom through applying project management tips.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a YouTube channel. I just started my Instagram account. How and where do I get started?
So, two things. One would be through content creation, right? So, creating an Instagram video every day talking about project management and how it can bring you freedom. Not so much on the super details, nitty-gritty of it, because it's probably going to go over the head of most entrepreneurs. It's going to be about talking to them in a way that they can understand.
And that way would be practical tips learned from dealing with people. So on that level, or dealing with tasks or time management, not very technical, but tips maybe based on a story or based on an interaction with an individual.
Yeah,
or an experience from the past.
You have a deep well of knowledge. When Marion was on here in this seat, he was asking about YouTube, and he wants to go like super deep and technical and like my exact process. And I'm happy to go and talk about that. But if I lead a video with that, most people aren't going to care, right? He's trying to copy what I'm doing, and I love it. I'm happy to share it. Most people, especially for you, they want to learn it, but they don't. If you overwhelm them with details and jargon and technical things, it's just, you're creating more confusion than anything, right?
Right, and
you have to get to it, right?
Well, yeah. The thing is, project management isn't that sexy and that popular. That's That's my question: is how do I?
So what's the pain that you solve?
I guess a lack of direction. Basically, just getting things done in a shorter time frame, dealing more efficiently with people, situations, processes. Defining processes or throwing processes out if they're not needed.
And mostly geared at people who already have a team, staff?
Yes and no. Projects come in all shapes and forms.
Okay.
In a lot of large companies, even if they have very rigid processes, sometimes if you make changes to an existing process, it's a small project where you actually just apply a very small set of tools, the bare minimum to actually get the thing done. You need a beginning, an end, some sort of a few milestones to know whether you're going in the right direction. And those kind of things you can apply in everyday life, including baking a cake for a friend's birthday party.
Sure. But I mean, nobody's going to hire you to teach them how to bake a cake for a friend's birthday party, right? So like ideally, we're creating content for the customers who can afford to pay you. Like a startup entrepreneur could definitely use your help, but can't afford to pay you much, if anything, right?
And we're going to generate some free content to actually help with that, and maybe free workshops to get started.
But I would create the content geared towards the people who could be potential customers for you.
Right.
So if it's not the struggling startup entrepreneur, but the growing, it's usually the high growth entrepreneurs who they're growing their top line so quickly, but then they're on quicksand.
And that's similar to companies because if you apply project management too early in the life cycle of a company,
Yeah.
It's not geared towards startups. It's geared towards a growing startup that's maturing,
Yeah.
where you actually start to put some processes in place to actually be able to handle the growth.
Yeah, honestly, I think what we talked about on day one, the fast path to freedom strategy, would be the best for you, where you create just 9 pieces of awesome content and spend some time really focused on making really good content around project management, and then you go hunting. So when I was in the venture capital business, we were looking for, everybody wants venture capital. Sure.
Right. Yeah.
But most companies suck and can't take on venture capital. So what we did was, we have a list here in Canada of the fastest growing companies. They would rank them. I'm sure it's the same in most countries. They have like lists of fastest growing. Those are the companies that I would target and say, hey, do you need more money to grow your business? I'd be happy to talk to you. See if our venture capital might be a fit for what you're trying to do.
So a hunting strategy.
Yeah. And then they say, who is this guy who's reaching out to us? And then look at your Instagram. You don't need to have tons of content, because you just need to know that he's credible and he knows what he's talking about.
The question is, would my potential customers be more on Instagram or would they be more on YouTube? I feel that they're probably more on YouTube. Instagram feels a little young to me and a little...
Honestly, probably LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, okay.
So same thing, like you create a great bio, you have a great picture for your profile, and you create a few great articles or pieces of content, but then if somebody comes to your profile, they say, this guy really knows what he's talking about, to look like an expert.
The issue there is it's not going to be portable and it's not going to be able to afford me the freedom. So to be location independent.
Because it's LinkedIn?
No, I'm just saying if I stick to just the project management as opposed to using project management as a conduit to freedom.
Yeah. But what do you want to do? You want to sell coaching? You want to sell a product? What do you want to ultimately sell? What's your path to freedom?
I would like to write a book. I'd like to go on speaking tours. I'd like to potentially do like online workshops that people would sign up for, and it's basically already canned content. So it's scalable and so to be able to take myself out of the equation more and more.
Yeah. Then it's YouTube. You have to speak. You want to be hired as a speaker. You got to speak. So I need regular YouTube videos.
And I've got a question on that.
Yeah.
I usually work in high bursts of energy.
Okay.
So
I do too.
What would work better for me is write content, and once I have enough written content, take that and then just maybe hire Mark and just do like a 2-week taping session and like knock out like a couple of hundred videos in 2 weeks, as opposed to doing it daily with my cell phone and this way.
I make videos. I have one big filming day a month.
Okay.
And I do a few every Tuesday, but on one day I'll make tons of content for my channel.
Okay.
Like all the top 10s I'll do in one day, every month.
Okay.
You batch it, right? The benefit of the daily practice is you get better at it because you're doing it every day. You build a repetition. But if you work better in bursts, then so you sit down and you don't necessarily have to write out the whole video, but at least like what I'm going to talk about, main points, just a quick reminder of what the story is going to be, and then once a month or every 2 months or whatever, you sit down. If you want it to look professional, you hire a team and then go make it.
Do it like in a couple of days, or do you think it takes longer?
Depends how many you want to make.
Yeah.
Right? I have 4 a day that go out in different channels.
Okay.
But I think YouTube should be your home, and then you cut the best pieces, and then you throw it to LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want people to see you as a speaker, to say, I want him at my next event.
Right. The purpose of the writing would be that the writing could be part of a book of tips, and out of each story or each tip, basically we'll take nuggets and then, freeform and improvise when we're taping.
Yeah, and even the best videos that do well, that becomes your book.
True, it goes both ways, yes.
Right. Like you make
Yes.
the best videos, then you take the best content, put it to LinkedIn and see what the response is. And like whatever people resonate with the most, you
Right.
take and say, okay, here's my book.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. It
Yeah.
goes both ways.
Yeah.
The content creation can drive the videos, and the videos can drive the book.
Yep. Yep. But if speaking is your thing, YouTube is the place.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I love it, man. Good luck.
If you have a podcast or interview show and want me to be a guest on it, I have two options for you. There's a link right there next to me. Go click it, and I look forward to being a guest on your show.